Happy New Comic Day, everybody. Welcome to another New Comic Day Blast, the weekly show where I run down news from around the comic book industry, drop some recommendations for cool new books that are out in stores and digital storefronts, and occasionally show off a new Comic Day haul. We're jumping right into some news. As September closes, we got word of a series that got pushed to 2021. That is Boom Studios' Berserker, co-written by Matt Kindt and Keanu Reeves, and drawn by Ron Garney. Now, a couple months ago, I dropped in one of my new Comic Day Blast videos, I dropped the news that that Berserker had gone Kickstarter route for the collected editions in roughly around fall 2021. And the artist changed from Alessandro Vitti to Ron Garney, who's known pretty much all around Marvel and probably done some DC work as well. But we got the news that after the news of that, or the switch in artist, and we just got news that the series got pushed. So originally it's supposed to be dropping next month, October 20, but now it won't be dropping until late February. So everybody's looking forward to seeing what Matt Kindt and Keanu Reeves and now Ron Garney cooked up are gonna have to wait several months. And as probably presumably due to the change in artist, they had to figure that was not just gonna be a smooth transition, and there was gonna be something was gonna have to get pushed. And that just happens when the creative team, especially when you're talking about the artist, either artist, colorist, or probably even inker, who knows what. But a lot of times when you switch a creative partner, like there's gonna be something's gonna get pushed, something's gonna delay. That just happens. That's just comics. So everybody's looking forward to reading Berserker in October. We're all gonna have to wait. Now it is a 12-issue series, and I wasn't even sure originally if I was gonna check it out, but I'm like, I was like, you know what, I'll probably just end up picking it up anyway. But now it's also with the delay, roughly 4 months. What's it gonna happen to the collected edition? So it was 12 issues. So if it started in October, kind of figure to end around September. So now it's gonna get pushed. So now you're looking at closer to 2022 for that. So, or even further into 22, obviously. So in January, so collected edition and the Kickstarter, probably, February, March, April, and that area there leading into the second quarter of 2022. It's kind of wild to think about 2022 stuff. Like, everybody's done with 2020, but we don't want to think too much about 2020. And then now you're gonna have everybody looking for the Kickstarter rewards, which a ton of people back those collected editions on Kickstarter for Berserker. So now they're not gonna see any of that for an extended period. So that's Berserker delayed the kickoff of that one in February 2021. And then we jump over to Image Comics because Todd McFarlane just dropped this tribute cover for Spawn 311, honoring the memory of Chadwick Boseman, who passed away not too long ago and was just, again, I talked about this before, just an inspirational figure for Black Panther and just what he did with that character on the big screen, and just inspiring just tons of people to go to the movies to see his character and to check out the comics and just kind of expand his reach, and just all the people that he got excited about the character and the world of comics and the movies, and just inspire people like the cosplayers, all that good stuff. So when he died, a lot of people were obviously affected by that, and we're seeing tributes from around fellow Hollywood people, but in comics obviously as well, because of him portraying this comic book character on the big screen and what that meant for people, as I said. But Todd McFarlane went and did this tribute cover for Spawn 311. Now 310 just dropped, so this one won't be coming out. Probably looking, who knows when the publishing schedule is, but you can presume that it'll be later, towards the later end of October. And it's just cool, like a cool cover here, just kind of that Wakanda Forever Black Panther pose, and just honoring Chadwick Boseman, because you can never just run short of tributes for him. And it's just these figures and these characters, these actors and actresses who portray them often become bigger than life. We saw that with the comics. You got Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and when you get into the big screen stuff, Christopher Reeve, and just on into the DCEU, MCU, all this stuff. So Chadwick Boseman was definitely part of that, portraying T'Challa, King T'Challa, and Black Panther in several movies now. But it's even bigger, even just for cinephiles, it was bigger than MCU and Black Panther, because of all the other movies that he's portrayed. He still has movies that are coming out. His final work, I just saw the title of that. I don't remember what it was, but I just saw something about that one. So there's still work coming out that he's done. So yeah, rest in peace again to Chadwick Boseman, and shout out to Todd McFarlane's Spawn team and Image Comics for dropping this dope tribute cover. And I'll definitely look forward to having this cover. I think I've already pre-ordered the McFarlane cover anyway, so it should be this one. It kind of just got revealed. I don't know how that worked, but maybe he just maneuver some covers around. Like, all right, we're gonna drop this one through 11. I don't know, but it's cool. So shouts to him, and I'm pretty sure a bunch of people are looking forward to getting this copy in hand. So now let's move on to the recommendation section, because as always, it's comic books. Every week there's gonna be some cool stuff out. Obviously, not including the shutdown period because we had nothing going on, but we're back full swing. Been back for a couple months now, so we got some new comics. Now we jump over to Marvel because we got the debut issue of the 5-issue miniseries starring my man Shang-Chi, who's back in the published comic. It's been a few years since Shang-Chi has had his own solo series. It is only 5 issues, but it's just something to bring Shang-Chi back. And we already know that he has a movie coming. When the hell ever, I don't know. I usually don't pay too much attention to movie release dates, like years out. Like, I don't care. Unless it's the year that it's actually coming in, then I'm tuned in. But outside of that, I don't care too much. But it is cool because just to see Shang-Chi back, because he's a cool character, and he's grown a lot. I think he's grown a lot as he's been in several Avengers titles in like roughly this last decade. So it's kind of cool to see him get some more exposure, and then the movie coming out eventually. So he's back in his 5-issue miniseries. We'll see what happens with that. I'm looking forward to checking it out. Once I saw he was going to have it, I was definitely on pre-order train. So I got that one coming. Looking forward to reading that when my next shipment comes in a couple weeks. And then we switch over to Aftershock Comics for Artemis and Assassin #5, brought to us by Stephanie Phillips and Francesca Fantini, as they bring us the continued time-traveling adventures of Maya and Virginia. This one is just another cool book. Aftershock Comics, as I talked about, them and a couple other publishers out there. There's so many smaller publishers who are steady growing and bringing us a continued stream of wildly creative and just imaginative titles out there. So Artemis and Assassin is one I'm constantly talking about. Just a cool book, time travel stuff, spies, killers, right up my alley. So I always get a strong recommendation from Gino, so I recommend checking that out. Artemis and Assassin #5, Aftershock Comics. Wrapping up the recommendations this week is a series debut from Image Comics. Here is Department of Truth #1, brought to us by James Tynion IV and Martin Simmons. We got a couple of covers here. Simmons did the first one, and then we got Jenny Frison with a variant here, which is the one I ended up pre-ordering. I was kind of going back and forth, but I ended up going with the Jenny Frison one. She always done some cool covers. Both covers I like, but I think I particularly like Jenny Frison's because of the coloring. The red just really kind of stands out there. So I was like, you know what? That's the one I'm going to go with. So Department of Truth will absolutely appeal to all the conspiracy theorists out there, as they're doing a deep dive into all of them. All of a sudden, they're all real. So the synopsis follows that Cole Turner has studied conspiracy theories all his life, but he isn't prepared for what happens when he discovers that all of them are true. From the JFK assassination to flat earth theories and reptilian shapeshifters. That one sounds interesting. Curious to see how that one works out. One organization has been covering them up for generations. What is the deep dark secret behind the Department of Truth? So, conspiracy theories, and so just that by itself, like, all right, we're going to explore a world where these are true, and they've just been getting covered up. So you have the cover-ups, which makes an interesting aspect, but then, like, just a world where a lot of this crazy, wild shit is actually true. So what's gonna happen? Like, how is it gonna look? It's just gonna be just one of those, like, again, like wildly creative and imaginative books, and how the visual storytelling works with the style of art. I'm curious to see how it all plays out. All these different conspiracies, everything that's going into this. I'm curious, and I can't wait to see it. Again, I already have it pre-ordered, so similar to the other book, I'm looking forward to reading this one when my next shipment comes in. So that's Department of Truth #1 from Image Comics. And those are just my recommendations. As always, there are plenty more books out there that you should check out. If you're short of reading material, Comic Shop always has something for you. Definitely recommend just jumping out if you want to try some new books. If you're new to comics, maybe you haven't been into comics for a while, hit the shop. Go try out some new stories, whether it's a new series or jump into the middle of a series, the middle of a story arc. Whatever, just jump right in, dive right in, have some fun. Let's do it. Comic books, babies. Let's enjoy ourselves. So let me know what you picked up this week, what you're looking forward to reading, any of these recommendations. What does Department of Truth, how does Department of Truth sound to you? What do you think about the news? Were you interested in Berserker? Have you pre-ordered? What do you think about the delay? And then what do you think about this Spawn tribute that Todd McFarlane dropped to honor Chadwick Boseman his just who he was, this inspirational figure in the world of Hollywood, and like his connection to comics, all that cool stuff there. Again, I did not make it to the shop. All the books that I pretty much wanted this week, I already had pre-ordered, so I'm all good there. So now I want to hear from everybody else. What you got going on? What are you looking forward to reading? And especially, let me know if you're trying out any new series. I'm always interested in hearing, just talking about comics, period, obviously. But for people that are just checking out a new series, what are you interested in? What have you been eyeing? And you kind of like, oh, you know, let me check in with this. Maybe characters you haven't checked out for a while. Like, hey, who's like, what are they up to right now? Let me know. Drop it all in the comments below. So let's do it. Happy reading, happy hunting, happy collecting. This is GENOTHADRAGON. Thanks for watching, and peace out.